Hey guys, today we're doing section 8 of chapter 9 for advanced algebra, which is called properties of logarithms. So we've already talked about our exponent rules in the last couple chapters, and now we're going to talk about logarithm rules, which are very similar to exponent rules. In fact, they're basically the same thing because we know that exponents and logarithms are just inverses of each other. So, properties of logarithms are derived from the properties of powers. So, they're derived from our exponent rules because we know that exponents and logarithms are just inverses. So, recall that b to the 0 is equal to 1. So, anything to the 0 power, if you take it to that 0 power, it becomes 1, which is how we get this rule, which is called our 0 exponent rule. So, that means that our logarithm of 1 rule is that for every base b, we know that log base b of 1 is equal to 0. So the reason I know that is because if I were to rewrite b to the 0 equals 1 into logarithmic form, it would be log base b of 1 equals 0. So logically, this follows from this. All the other logarithm rules follow from other exponent rules as well. So looking at this first rule here, log base 42 of 1, what would that answer be? Well, it would just be 0 because I know that anything, for any base, if I have log base b of 1, that will equal 0. Okay, we also have our log base b of b to the n. So for every base b and any real number n, log base b of b to the n is equal to n. So if you think about that, if I rewrite this, this would be b to the n equals b to the n. So, of course, it follows from the exponent rule that that's obvious. Okay, so log base 7 of 7, well, if I rewrite that, that would be like 7 to the x equals 7. So, of course, x is just going to equal 1. Okay, over here, I can do the same thing. If I rewrite that, that's just 8 to the x equals 8 to the third. So, of course, x is going to be 3. Okay? Our next rule, this follows from the exponent rule that where you multiply the bases. Remember that if you multiply the bases of your exponent, or of your the bases of your exponent, then you would add the exponents together in order to combine those. So, as far as logarithms go, in a logarithm, if you multiply the two parts, if you separate that out into two different logarithms, you add them together. So with our exponent rules, we're multiplying the bases and we add the exponents. In our logarithm rules, we add on the inside of the logarithm and then we add the separate logarithms. Okay, so multiplying on the inside equals adding on the outside. So in this equation here, we've got log base 15 of 5 plus log base 15 of 45. If we use this rule, we can combine those into a single logarithm that is going to be 5 times 45. So this will be log base 15 of 225. And I know that 15 squared is 225, so this is just 2. Okay, our next rule is when I divide my exponents. So remember that if you're dividing two bases, you subtract the exponents. So the same thing happens with logarithms. If inside my logarithm I'm dividing, I can separate that out into two separate logs where I'm subtracting. So looking at this one here, log base 5 of 625 minus log base 5 of 25, I can rewrite that as log base 5 of 625 over 25. And then I can simplify that. I know 625 over 5 is just 25, so this is going to be log base 5 of 25. So thinking about writing that as an exponent, that's saying 5 to some power gives me 25, so that of course is going to be 2. Alright, our next rule is our power to a power rule for exponents. So I know that if I'm raising some sort of exponent to another power, I'm going to multiply those exponents together in order to figure out my answer. So with logarithms, if you have log base b of x to the n, Well, you can move that power down to the front and change it into a multiplication. So it would be n times the log base b of x. So here, if I have log of x to the 7th, remember that when you don't have a base specified, that means that it's a common logarithm with a base of 10. So I'll just kind of write this 10 in here so we remember that. Okay, so if we have log base 10 of x to the 7th, I can rewrite that as 7 times log base 10 of x, okay? And that's as far as I can go with that one. Okay, so those are our exponent rules and our logarithm rules.